want to talk about real quick is the way the ship plays and its positioning in clan battles and why we see it, especially in like competitive like COTS as well. And that's because it's got the mixture of radar and hydro, or sorry, radar and smoke. Um, and so it's a really good ship for hunting down frankly other ships, right? The range, the concealment here is 9 point something kilometer, and radar reaches out to 9, so it can almost stealth radar. So if it detects something, there's a good chance, or if it's detected, I mean, there's a good chance it can hit the I win button and detect back what was spotting it.
Yeah.
Okay, which comes in
And
very
for all
handy.
intents and purposes. Oh, you got your radar up to 20 seconds of duration. Oh, that is incredible. That's really good.
Mhm.
Because here's the thing, Svea. Think of Svea as a supercharged Ragnar, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
With the
it's
Citadel.
bigger. Yes, it has a Citadel.
Mhm.
It's got worse concealment. But what do you have?
Yep.
Smoke, radar, engine boost, heal, 4 charges.
Mhm.
Yes, he's right. It's quite survivable because it's super thin. But unlike
Mhm.
other high-tier ultralight cruisers, you don't get overmatched by Stalingrad guns
Yep.
because it's
Yep.
like Stalingrad's like the biggest counter to most ultralight cruisers. This doesn't get
Yeah.
countered by it because it has 25 millimeter plating, which allows you to auto bounce Stalingrad rounds past a certain angle.
That's right.
The other thing
So,
too is that you have torpedoes. You have
and
torps.
these are long range fast torpedoes too. 13.5 kilometer and
With fast
86
reload as
knots.
well.
I'm sorry, with what?
But they have a fast reload as well. Take a look
Yeah.
at the reload time on the torpedoes.
Yep. So you can just keep on luck checking torps for days. So Svea is oftentimes used as a hiding ship. You put it on the side that the enemy's going to push into, because it's really difficult to push into all the torps from the Svea, plus the smoke and the ability with its main battery. Now these are 152 millimeter guns, but they're pretty darn good reload, and therefore they're really good at starting fires. So you have the combo of starting fires and starting floods, with smoke so it can disengage, engine boost so it can run away quicker if it needs to, and a heal so it stays alive longer. So Svea is really difficult to fight over on a flank. And that's where you oftentimes see a Svea, or sometimes trying to back up the push side, I suppose, with a more centralized position. We see that sometimes in COTS too. But
Definitely.
she's a fun ship.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the idea here is the first one. Is in the kite side with the help of a destroyer, usually Smallands, working
Yep.
together and denying the flank to the enemy. That's
That's
the
right.
whole idea.
A lot of times
I
in
can't
clan
believe
battles,
these-
what?
I'm
Puddin'?
sorry, Zach. I said I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth because I'm such a slave to RPF. But considering the space usually paired up with the DD, it's usually on the kite side. Food for thought as you drop RPF and you take one of the top grade gunners of the outnumbered. Because the DD should have RPF too. If you get spotted, you just pop the FU destroyer button so you know where he's at. The other thing is, what are you, YOLO K? So you're like, no, not trying to offend anybody, but you definitely have 2 brain cells at least working. So you usually have a good idea where the destroyer is coming from. And, surviving on the kite side is like that. Literally your job is delay, survive. If you can kill what's ever coming at you due to getting more DPM out, not a horrible decision. It's just food for thought.
Okay.
So-
Usually, depending on the map, Svea and the destroyer will be like the destroyer more to the center of the map, center to the flank, and Svea all way to the flank, so we can cross the RPF.
Yes.
But there are maps that you are correct. It's just an overlap of RPF, but that's not what's normally occur.
What I like about radiolocation for the Svea is if you're in a situation where you're by yourself, say that Smallin buddy dies, you still have radiolocation. You can still point your direction at the nearest destroyer, pop your engine boost as soon as you get detected, right? So that you get faster, and then they have less time to react, and then pop your "I win" button, as you said, Puddin. So I think that radiolocation does still have some value to it. But let's get
I'm
to
not
look
saying
at
it does. Right. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm
yeah.
probably for most clans, you're definitely going to want to, but
Mhm.
maybe I'm just thinking too highly of YOLO K. Like you guys should be low typhoon, or typhoon, high typhoon, hurricane,
Mhm.
right?
This is
So,
not put
like,
YKO.
YKO usually low typhoon.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but I mean, you're still very good players. Like we're not talking about storm level clans, right? And
The other five players are very good. I'm here just to
what I'm trying to say is people are always
bring
trying to
fun.
get over that hurdle from low typhoon to pushing hurricane, and it really comes down to DPM, right? Because clan battles is about the burst and sustained damage. You know, so if you can get your burst a little bit higher and get something killed, like I said, it's just food for thought. It's something
Yes.
to maybe get you over that little hurdle
Okay.
that's some people don't think about.
So
Yes, totally valid.
it is valid, and I will say it like this. To me, I feel this gives you the most overall general use. And Puddin, you were talking about outnumbered, right?
Yeah, whatever one's more beneficial, because I really don't run those, because like I said, I am a slave to RPF. Like I'm a huge, you put RPF on every cruiser and all that, but like I'm dealing with different skill level players to where I'm usually alone 90% of the time. So yeah, more information's better. But like I, like I said, I just think highly of any of the yellow Kraken clans. So it's
So
just food for thought.
right,
For you guys to
right.
discuss.
So, in my opinion, with the value that you get radiolocation, the only way, in my opinion, to work in one of these other two skills is to reduce a tier 3, a 3-pointer, and a 1-pointer skill to make room for that. I don't know. I mean, you obviously you've got Jersey Mike, you want the buffed adrenaline rush, survivability expert, and superintendent. I mean, these three are just such a core grouping. That's the hard
Yeah,
part. And
you have to take those.
right. Now, if you're running the minimap mod from Titaro, which does allow for triangulation of radiolocation, as Wolfie mentions, then this becomes even more valuable. So, but this is a clan battle, and in a clan battle, you'd hope that other people would say, okay, let's use the thing that gets us more information. Let's all synchronize our mods, especially at the higher tier, higher competitive clans. And that's where I think radiolocation really starts to overshine, because of that. So I think this build is fine. I don't know that I'd want to sacrifice radio for something else.
I'm gonna say that this is the build I would probably take.
Yeah.
No, this is the exact spell you should be taking on a Svea because it's maximizing your utility.
It's all utility,
Svea,
baby.
Here's the thing, right? If you're playing cruisers on a kite site, there's like three things you're going to play. You're going to play a Svea, a San Martin, or a Salem, right? With San Martin and Salem, like with San Martin, the whole goal is kite into oblivion. With Salem, what you're doing is you want to kite, but you also want to have the option to just push back in whenever you need to, right? With a Svea, you're bringing it purely for utility, right? Because you want to play defensive, you can play kind of offensively. Your goal is to just live while killing DDs and killing cruisers. So this is the optimal build, I feel, because you have the ability to hunt down DDs, you're maximizing the usability of your consumables by having consumable reload and consumable duration, and of course you have the 20 seconds is enough to kill most DDs if you catch them. That's useful. So,
Right.
I personally would
Okay.
this is exactly what you should be seeing out of Svea. Flags look good as well. You have the HP flag, you have speed flag, you have repair flag, consumable cooldown flag. Ram flag is useful in like last minute situation, and of course the smoke flag is also very useful just for having a little bit of extra smoke deployed uptime, just in case you guys always slide out of it.
I would drop the ram flag here, and I would pick up the other fire chance.
I think you're wrong. Ram flag, like, ram flag is the flag you never want to use, but when you have it, thank God it's there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. It needs ram.
But to me, the extra chance of fire outweighs that.
Just shoot more.
Oh, okay.
I remember last clan battle, we lose the battle because Svea or San Martin didn't have the ham flag. So, but I understand if it was like randoms, I don't use the ham flag. But for clan battles, I prefer to take away 1% chance, 0.5% chance that the flags that the flag give to fire chance and have the ram flag, but just a preference.
The ram flag is a flag you never want to use, but thank God you have it when you need it.
Yeah. So, I mean, what about dropping the smoke flag? 1 second of action time. 1.1 seconds is what you gain from. I mean, that's not much.
No, correct. I confess that I didn't do the math there.
It's one thing I like about this site. You don't have to.
For 1 second, for 1 second, the fire flag is better. I agree. Totally agree.
Okay. Well, let's get to the game. Now, this is a clan battle, and I haven't done a clan battle in quite some time. But when I do clan battles, oftentimes I like to focus more on the overall game, and then, you know, when we get opportunities to come in and talk about the various, you know, the individual, we can do that. So your team, YKO, has Colombo, Moskva, Double Venezia, you and the Svea, Yu Yang, and Smollett. I'm assuming the Yu Yang is radar.
Yes.
Okay. And you're up against 5D7. That's a clan that's been around a very long time. 5D clan. They've got an Oregon, Castilla, Salem.
That's an experiment.
I'm sorry, what?
Oregon's an experimental ship. I completely forgot
Correct.
you're allowed to bring those into clan battles now. Oops.
So, Oregon, Castilla, Salem, Moskva, Hanlu, Shimakaze, and Marceau. All right. Now, I'm a bit out of the clan battle metas and stuff. Oregon is an experimental ship, and I wouldn't be surprised if 5D7 is playing as an experimental.
Engine deactivated.
So you and the Smallland are heading towards the A side, and your push is going hard on B side, on Warrior's Path.
Yes. Yes.
A BC push. So you're leaving the small one to defend A by itself, which is not a bad idea. But if I were in this position, right, what I would be doing is actually just you already have 2 radars going to BC side.
Mm-hmm.
I would just let the Moskva at A kiting with the small ones. There's no point in putting like 6 ships on one flank, because here's the thing. Right, if you over push on one side, it's a little bit, I mean, it can work, but then it's also like if that other side gets run down and you push from B to C, and they somehow push all the way around from A, now you're effectively put into a crossfire, right? That's my concern. But let's just see how this plays out. We'll see how this goes.
Yep. All right. So I want to point out too, I paused it here and I didn't get a chance to comment on it before, but it said RPF and that had compass directions. When you see that, that's the T-Tower minimap mod at work, combining radio locations of each player that's got radio location, essentially. Okay. And so it's great for triangulating points. and that's where again radiolocation comes in handy. Where is the dirty water city war? It's coming. I usually wait till we finish replays to get into some dirty water. Okay, I am very jealous of your rum. I saw your comment earlier, just didn't get a chance to comment on it. I would agree. I think I understand what you're thinking about the Moskva kiting away at A, but to me the Moskva is just a. I would rather play Moskva Bawan than kiting.
The Svea is all. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I'm blind. I actually just realized that the Svea is also an A. No, this is fine. That's actually perfectly fine. No, that's totally fine.
Yep. So now, as far as the BC push, the only issue I have with the BC push is you either have to get everybody to go one way or you split. And if you split, that really hurts. If you try going down this channel, especially, it's rough. I'm guessing you're putting the Moskva on the traditional Moskva spot, cover the mid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Torpedoes
That's
deployed.
good because Moskva has the range to cover.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing you're gonna also shove the Columbo through the 7-line, 8-line gaps.
He's fixing to go through there. Yes. There's the Castilla. There's the Marceau. Let's go back to your view to watch you and the Smallland, buddy.
Activated.
Yeah, I would have the small one also shoot here, because the fact that actually no, don't have the small one shoot because it's still spotted.
Smallland shooting is fine because it gives them something to shoot instead of you for a little bit. But you're seeing the Marceau doing Marceau things and being super speedy.
Yes, and I have a hard time to adjusting my cross.
You're adjusting your shot. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Also, I would be vacating the smoke, like, immediately. What is it that we say about smoke, Seth?
Well, it's a big magnet for torpedoes, absolutely. And you better believe them,
There you
Marceau. Luck check the smoke. Hey, look at that, torpedoes.
Oh, look, who saw that coming?
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
what I would be doing is
run.
I'd be vacating. I'd be flipping the other side to luck check my other rack of torps at it. Oh, hey, Marceau came back. 50 shots fired and 5 hits. Well, these shells are a bit on the floaty side at long range.
At 8 kilometers? Not really. You're not leading enough, Merrick, on
Yes.
Marceau. You're also, I feel like you're trying to adjust your aim too much. That's what you're trying to do. You're over-adjusting your aim. Aim more smoothly, right?
Deactivated. Smoke screens
Rather
set.
than being really jerky. That's the mistake that I make when it comes to aiming against high
Torpedoes to
PDs, like say Marceau. Right there you go, like that.
And by now we knew that Shimakaze was here too.
Yeah, he saw the
You can see
torps.
the torps passing like a second.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know what Marceau is doing there because he gets stuck in the
Yeah.
border.
That's okay.
Yeah,
the border
that's
does
really bad.
actually what it's supposed to do for once.
Which is work to your benefit. which
Right,
is
yeah,
so
I mean-
bad, shit done.
How many times do you see people,
Yeah.
you know...
Not complaining.
Gunfire's too loud? Well, I can try to... Hold on.
Lower the volume of the... I mean, I'm a bit far from my mic, which... Okay, I'm right next to my mic now, so I should be able to...
Well, I mean, I'll be fair to say, he's like, y'all making fun of him for not being able to hit a French DD who was speed juking and dodging effectively. Like,
I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying aim a little more. All I'm saying is aim more smoothly. Also, Zach, you might have accidentally slowed down the replay bit, or did you? No.
No,
he didn't.
it's normal speed now.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, radio location just flipped back to the Marceau again.
Yes. It was on Shima and now on Marceau. Yeah.
Oh, look, your Oregon.
Yeah.
Their Oregon died. What do you know?
Hey, experimental ship dead because he overextended it. Okay, cool. So that's good. I like this so far because now what you're doing is effectively forcing those 4 ships to push into you, right?
Yep.
And that's giving your team to, or actually, truth be told,
Oof.
Zach, can I pause this for a second, Zach, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Right. So, what's just happened? The Small has died. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Now you're effectively
Big
alone
thing.
against. That's a big thing. Now you're effectively alone against a Moskva, a Salem, a Marsal, and a Shimakaze.
I dare say the Shimmy's moved on.
Correct?
Most
Now, the
likely,
good news
No,
is-
yes.
he's still there. He's still there. He's still there.
Mm.
He's an
Hey,
idiot then.
Yeah, no. The Shimakaze
Anyway.
should have rotated through mid. All you really need is the Moskva to chase down. Moskva and the Salem to chase down the Svea. The Moskva can hot route it over on the B line, and then the Salem can just hot route it through the middle and use the Shima swatting to his advantage. What they're doing here is a mistake. They're chasing you down, which is really awkward. But
Well,
what you're doing here is the right thing, and effectively saying, "Hey, come and get me," and giving the rest of your guys up on the 7, 8, 9, 10 line time to go through C, cap it, kill the Guden and the Castilla, and then rotate back.
hmm
So this is good. I like this.
So in clan
That's the
battles,
idea.
yeah. Also, I want you to take a look too at their deployment. The enemy team did a balanced deployment, literally covering the map almost equally. You guys didn't. You did a 2-player hideaway and then 5-player push. And in clan battles, the ship disparity is really important. The more of your ships you have facing the fewer of their ships, the better off you are, and the quicker you can kill those few ships, the better off you are too. Which is probably why 5D7 is trying to kill Maruk right now with all 4 of their assets instead of just the 2. Yes, a Salem and Moskva will probably kill a Svea that's at full health. It's just going to take them a very long time. So 5D is probably saying, we want to kill this Svea as quickly as possible, so that frees the entire team up to rotate. I get your idea, though. Shimakaze Marceau right now could rotate out, or, yes, back cap B, all that good stuff. Absolutely, SAT. So I'm just trying to get in the mindset of what the enemy team might be thinking. But I agree. The 2 destroyers should be, at this point, the 2 destroyers should be moving someplace else and relocating. Whether that does something for the Moskva Colombo push or goes to back cap B, both are good viable options at this point in the game. Let's see what happens.
And how did I know that Shima was there? Because when I start smoking like 5 seconds forehand, the smoke was between me and Moskva and Marceau. And I was still spotted, so I knew Shima was in my right side.
Torpedoes astern.
Now, also, if you're using the mod that tells you how many people are hitting you with radiolocation, that's another way to know Shima's probably still here.
Yeah.
And there goes the torps. Yeah.
Now, you
I
came...
I like what you're doing here, by the way, with the smoke. I'll
You
just
came-
point that out really quickly.
Yeah. You came out of the
What I
smoke.
like
You
what
were...
you do-
You were detected. I
were
would have liked to
spotted.
seen your radar right there, just so you could possibly catch the Shimakaze if he was too close to you. That would have just helped to confirm exactly where he was. Maybe you get a shot or 2 into him.
Good point. Good point,
Yeah.
actually.
This will help in 1 second. I think.
Torpedoes
Oh,
to
hey,
starboard.
look, the Marceau got closer. That's nice of him.
Why would he do that? Hang
And the
on.
radar.
Oh, you just got slapped by the boss, but turn away, turn away, turn away. Just
He
use
doesn't
your
care
back,
about
you're
that.
fine. Now
And
he turned good.
yeah, work on him a bit.
What? That's good, that's good. Yeah, you got the Marcel, now kill the Moskva.
Yeah. And Moskva took 2 torps also.
I saw that.
Yeah, now
That
you
forces a
just start
DCP.
Yeah. Yep.
So sticky fire number 1. Again, work on
And
gunnery.
Now I knew that Shima is not there. Yeah.
Yeah, because you radared.
Merrick, you're panic aiming a lot, right? You're panic aiming. I can see that very clearly. Because you are moving your mouse all over the place while you aim, right? I can
You're
tell that
excited.
pretty much immediately. Excited. Panic.
Also,
maybe.
you could have chosen...
I must tell a secret. I must tell a secret. I play with controller, but I was panicking.
with the
Because
controller?
the entire push of the entire push of my team depends on me staying alive and attracting attention. So I was panicking also. but I play with controller.
Why do you play with a controller instead of a mouse? Free.
Yeah, I feel more comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, suit yourself.
Obviously, that does hurt your ability to be accurate with your guns.
Yes, a bit.
You already, yeah. Well, your team is all. Well, the rest of your boys have already, and you've lost both your back turrets. Oh yeah, this is another issue with Svea. Its turrets have no armor whatsoever. So if you like large caliber HE shells, like even medium caliber HE shells, you're just gonna get cooked. Like just not permanently disabled, but pretty easily like incapacitated, right?
No, they can be
That's the
permanent.
consequence of being an ultralight cruiser. They can't be permanent. That's a consequence of being an ultralight cruiser. Austin has this problem. Colbert has this problem, especially.
Be ready for him to radar you and AP you. He had AP in the barrels last.
He actually already uses radar, Seth.
Yeah.
I already saw it go off.
Okay.
You know, if this robot's just getting you torpedoes, he's better off playing a Stalingrad, because his head is clearly not being any use.
Right.
Order writing. He's probably upset. He's very.
And the map,
no, I
the
would've
map
never-
ended. So.
Good narrow spread torpedoes there.
I think
one
you
the
ran out of game.
advantages of these, yeah, I think that's one of the advantages of these European ships is the narrow spread torpedoes.
Wait for it.
No.
It's like-
No, it just went
remember,
past.
Yeah.
That was,
Well, so
yeah, that was.
they rotated, but they didn't rotate the way I thought they would. They brought their
That was
Shima and
bad
Salem
rotation.
out and said the Marceau and Moskva. Maybe it's because they both start with the letter S and M. I don't know. But, like, wow.
That was really no. That was a really bad rotation. Here's the thing. Why? I mean, I get sending the Moskva after the Svea, but look where the Moskva is. Look how far out of position he is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
S
as a
and M?
result of that, they have very minimal control over the middle of the map. Oh, and the Salem just gets insta-deleted. Okay, that's funny.
Well, hey, your super heel can say whatever they want to a, sap.
Superheel's not going to save you from Columbo AP. Everybody forgets Columbo has AP until it actually shoots AP at you.
So Shima was sent to go to the B cap and back cap, but because the Venezia's turned around, the Shima couldn't do that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I also want to highlight, this is exactly how you kite away, by the way. We see a lot of players in randoms and ranked and even clan battles. So they kite towards their team. No, you kite away from the team. You kite to the corner. And you go to the corner because you want to drag the enemy to you as long as possible. This Moskva now that killed you is so far out of position. By the time he comes back to do anything, it's too late. Doesn't matter. Done. GG's.
There's a Columbo, a Moskva, and a Yu Yang in his face.
Well, sure.
And if the enemy ignores you, you can pick broadsides all day. Also, when you kite.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's
Why
right.
San
So
Martin is so good at kiting because it's an AP focused cruiser that does a ton of damage, lives forever, right? Now
Shima's about to die.
The only questionable thing about this is the fact that you're using a controller, which kind of messed up your aim. But
Yeah.
otherwise, considering what your job was, you did that exactly as you're supposed to, right? If you are playing a kiting cruiser in clan battles, your whole job is to kite and live as long as possible.
Yep.
If you do that, you've done your job. That's
Yep.
all you needed to do.
You had one job, and you did it.
Yeah.
And you
there's-
did a little damage also.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that's a ton of damage. You got rid of the
95,000.
You forced the Moskva to chase you to the corner. Oh, my
Nice
God.
round number.
Battleship Moskva, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Battleship Moskva was Battleship Moskva.
Well,
Yeah,
Wolfie,
the only
the
criticism
gunnery
I have-
comment is he's got a controller, so that's not going to happen unless he switches to mouse. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mouse aiming is a lot easier. If I was mouse aiming, that Moskva dies guaranteed because he was playing
Absolutely.
so poorly.
And the Marceau fight earlier ends a little bit differently, too.
I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying,
no.
I'm highly disappointed. Once you killed these DD, you should have just turned and rammed the stupid Moskva.
Or you could just drive by them. Well, the
And
Moskva
try
takes
to
3
YOLO
million
him.
years.
I mean, at that point, you're literally running out of map room. So it's like, stuck
Yeah,
on a
you might as
border and
well-
die, or just go at them and either take them out or die. Like,
I mean, you
Yeah,
you
just-
could try to go in and skill gap them, sure.
I would have turned on the Freebird. I would have just played
no,
Freebird and
you
yelled.
have to go for the ram. That way, you can justify the ram flag.
Okay. Pudding has a point.
Or whatever you say.
All right, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Let's put the
Skill
let's
gap.
put the render up here.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to say though. Like, truth of the matter is, if you're playing a kiting cruiser and it's like your game is going to be boring unless it turns out that everybody is on your flank.
Yep.
That's when it gets interesting.
Yep.
But it's also
And-
really strange that it's also a bit strange what 5e did, right? Because here's the thing: Oregon, for all intents and purposes, is designed to be aggressive. It is designed to push in like nobody's business and kill everything.
Mhm.
So my question is, why did 5e choose to kite with it? Right? Like, why didn't they just push 5-2 on A and then let the Guden and the Castilla kite to absolute oblivion, or just put like, or even if they wanted to do a 4-3 split, like pause for a second, right? Zach? Like, why is the Oregon there? Like, why is the Oregon at F9 when there's 2 Venezias and a Yin Yang which can just kill it so easily, right?
Mhm.
The Venezias are just going to smoke, and the Yin Yang is just going to keep it permaspotted. The Oregon, for all intents and purposes, is a modified Georgia. Georgia does not have a lot of health to begin with, and it does not have any armor against SAP rounds or even AP into the upper belt from a cruiser.
No, the
And,
only thing
yeah,
that Georgia
SAP's right,
has
it's
going
fun.
for it is the funny button when you get up close. You got to get close enough to do it, though. That's the hardest thing. Hey, Scheist.
Yeah. Ooh, fireworks. But yeah, that's a valid point. Yeah, and they didn't use the Oregon correctly. If you wanted to put the Oregon anywhere, it should have been at A if you're going to overpush that, right? Or
Yes.
you put it in an ambush position where it's like, okay, we're waiting for them to push through the gap, just send the Oregon, 1 tap the Moskva, and then 2 tap the Colombo with the burst,
Yep.
right? That's how that works.
Yep.
And then you use the support of your cruisers to kill the rest of the 2 Venezians off.
Well, I mean,
I would
maybe-
say there was anything necessary. I don't think that YKM did anything wrong here. It's just 5D not utilizing their ships correctly. That's the only thing I can really take away from that.
Enchilada, hey. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And so this is, 5D is experimenting with an experimental ship. That's okay. They're
Sure.
they can choose to do that if they want. So they didn't use it the right way. That's okay.
Yeah.
Enchilada, how you doing?
The double Venezia comp is we were experimenting this week with this comp. That's not our usual comp.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now is do you know, are they using unique upgrade? Do you know?
No, all
Okay.
consuming.
Okay.
Venezia, yeah. Now with Venezia, like mod doesn't really work in comp because you really need to maximize your concealment. The truth of the matter is that concealment is actually a lot more valuable in comp than having outright DPM or being able to engage effectively, right? Because engaging effectively basically means ensuring that your health, you need to maintain your health, right? If you are, if you have an engagement, like your initial engagement is like, you lose like half your health on your initial engagement versus say only a quarter, right? What you're going to come off a lot worse if you lose more health in that initial engagement because then you have less health to trade later, right? This is like the old lesson that I learned from the 07 guys. Health is everything, right? And I'm sure SAT will agree with me on this. The more health you have to trade in the late game, the better it is. Thus, going for builds or going for strategy design that relies on you out trading the enemy to start is not exactly optimal. Yeah, exactly, Zach. SAT, health is a resource. It is a massive resource.
It's an important one to be able to
And-
utilize, yes.
Oh, yes, please. And, that's killed me so many times in clan battles, or like, that's cost me a lot of games in clan battles. Because as a player, I didn't use my health properly, and I didn't use my health as a resource, and that's something I've had to learn how to do properly. Obviously, mechanical skill, knowing what traits to take, so on and so forth. And I feel like that in this particular game, if we're staying on the topic of the Svea kiting, Merritt did a good job of conserving his health until he needed it, right? At using his health appropriately, right? Kiting the Mossfa and the Marsaw to absolute death. Now, could the Swans have lived? Absolutely. But he did his job. He got the Marsaw, he got the Mossfa to chase him all the way to the border, and that's all he needed to do. Plain and simple. I'm sorry.
All right.
I might have been yapping a bit too hard there. The red mist is descending again, and I'm going off about it.
Yeah, no, it gives me a chance to move some things around with my setup, so that's fine. Okay, cool. I can drop this a little bit. I'm just playing around a little bit with my vertical setup here because I just realized like nobody can really see anything on vertical anyway with my maps. I just made it bigger.
That's a good
What was he
question.
thinking of going there solo without destroyers? Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, that's what they did. So, they definitely didn't play the Oregon appropriately, but I mean
No,
that's
they did
part
not.
of the experience of any game, especially clan battles, is if the enemy team doesn't utilize their stuff, then what does it matter, So, all right, well let's drop the replay render and close this one off. And Maruk, thanks for the replay. I don't know if there was much
Thank you
to
all.
give you for that, but
Yeah, I'll title this one "Do Your Job." Just do your job. The old Belichick saying.
I like the idea in the last smoke, instead of continuing going A1, I could turn it and try a YOLO on Moskva. That was a nice input.
Get a mouse. That'd be a good title.
That's also nice.
Here's the thing. Turning towards the Moskva and trying to YOLO him, yeah, you might be able to get a ram off. You also could easily die sooner. And the whole point of that was to drag him as far away as possible and whatever. So I don't think that it was a bad thing necessarily to go to the corner. And again, I know what's going on in your mind at that point in the battle. It is survive as long as possible. That was your job, that was your goal, and that's what you repeated to yourself in your mind. First and foremost, survive. Everything comes secondary to that. So if that's your mindset, you're not going to turn around and YOLO the Moskva. You're going to work your way to the corner, then sit there and say, I guess I'll just die now. So, which is
Like I
fine.
said, it's the old Belichick's. Like I said, it's just doing your job. That's
Do your
all
job.
you needed to do.
Damn right. Do your job. All right.